Al-fahisha is a term, umbrella term in Islam, in the Sharia, used to describe any form of unlawful sexual acts. Is al-fahisha. You must, as a Muslim, you must know by necessity that you are obliged to guard your private parts from any evil, unlawful sexual acts. The description of the believing men and believing women, that they always guard their private parts. They do not allow themselves to run free and wild in whatever they like when it comes to their own desires, their own lust. They will guard it from any unlawful sexual acts. Allah says, say to the believers, to the believing men, let them lower their gaze, not to look at the opposite gender, not to look at the private parts of other people. Okay, let them protect or guard their private parts, their own chastity. So that is purer and better for them. He says, and say to the believing women, let them lower their gaze and guard their private parts as well. Let them guard their own chastity as well. So men and women both. It's not just we just blame one and the others can do what they want. The kuffar, when a man does whatever he wants with as many women as he wants, there's no problem. He's just a player. He's just somebody successful. But if a woman does that, they call her every name and every bad word under the sun. Allah Ta'ala said it's forbidden for both men and women. They are both accountable for what they do. They are both forbidden from committing unlawful sexual acts. Okay, so he said, whoever guarantees to guard what is between his two lips, meaning his tongue, in what he says and what he says to the people, and what is between his two legs, meaning his private parts, his own chastity, I guarantee for him paradise. As zina means to fornication. There's two types of fornication. The fornication of the one who is unmarried and the fornication of the one who is married. Adultery. Both of these are fornication, both of these are prohibited. And not only that, the fahisha, the zina and other forms of fahisha, unlawful sexual acts, they are from those prohibited things that have been prohibited in Islam in every time and era, in every sharia, in every law, with every prophet. From the time of Adam until the day of judgment, it will be prohibited. There has never been any change. Men and women, they do not, as well, flirt with each other. They do not joke between each other, except between husband and wife and between close relatives. They do not do each other favors, give each other gifts, unless there's a sharia permit. They do not sit in the same room or work together in the same room unless there's a permit in the sharia to do so. There are two separate entities, two separate communities, that when they meet each other because of sharia reason. This is how in Islam we cut off the root for zina. How are you going to have zina after that? Men and women are not alone together in a room. One man, woman, they'll never be alone together. How can you commit zina after that? So Islam cuts it off from the roots. That way you save how many families destroyed because of zina. How many parents are shamed because of zina. How much violence because of zina. How much arguments and disputes and grudges between people because of zina. How much depression and hurt and anger between the people because of zina. And Islam cuts it off from the roots, from the beginning. So Allah said, do not come close to it. That's why even the ulama said, not allowed for you even to live next door to a brothel. If next door is a brothel where there are prostitutes, you must either shut down the brothel or you need to move house, because you cannot stay close to the zina, even if you're not the one committing it. The punishment in Islam for zina is 100 lashes for the one who commits zina. And if they're caught with 4 witnesses, they will be lashed 100 lashes. And if they are married, they will be stoned to death as well. Anybody who says to you, in Islam we can have some room, some ijtihad, and some permission for the homosexual, they have disbelieved in Islam. Rather, you people are ignorant people. The people of homosexual, people of law, they used to commit homosexual acts. They used to be involved with homosexuality. And he said to them, you've committed a great fahisha by taking men instead of women. Or you've committed a fahisha, an evil sexual act that nobody before you have done. You mean you have invented a new fahisha, nobody ever committed such an evil act. Nobody ever did something as evil as what you've done. And Allah Ta'ala has instructed Jibreel alayhi salam to pick up the entire city of the people of Lut and raise them and put them upside down and put them back on the ground. And they were stoned and they were destroyed in this way. Until now, the Dead Sea, you can see nothing can live in that sea anymore. He said, whoever you found committing what the people of Lut committed, kill the one who's doing it and the one who's doing it too. Meaning those two men who commit homosexual acts together, you will kill both of them. Okay, we will kill. As a punishment in Islam is the execution. They mean they'll face trial if there's evidence clearly that they committed it. The punishment in Islam is capital punishment for both of them. I mean, when two women, they have intercourse with each other, this is also completely prohibited in Islam, and it is a form of fahsha as well. And the Prophet ﷺ, he even forbade even coming close to that. He said in Sahih Muslim, he said, no woman can hug or lie next to a woman under a blanket, under one blanket. They're not allowed to share a blanket, sleep together. It's impossible. Let alone anything more than that. I mean, two women cannot hug each other under a blanket. You know, brothers and sisters, obviously, as soon as they are from the age of 7, they should be separated in their own beds. And even girls, if they are two sisters, when they reach a certain age, they cannot share a bed together. Okay? And especially when you become adults and mature, impossible to be sharing a blanket. If they sleep on the same bed, they must have separate blankets, minimum. He said, no man is allowed to look at the private parts of another man, and no woman is allowed to look at the private parts of another woman. Okay, the awrah of another woman. So just because they're women doesn't mean they can look at each other. Yeah. That's why even the scan during pregnancy, if there is no reason, medical reason for you to scan, then it cannot be done if you have to uncover your awrah to do so. It is prohibited in Islam to have intercourse in the backside. It is completely prohibited in Islam. And there is no shyness in Islam for us to talk about the haqq, talk about the truth. If we don't say it, people want to ask it. If people are shy to talk about it, people try to ask about it. And in the end, people will commit unlawful sexual acts without even to realize, without to think anything of it. It is completely prohibited. And in fact, that is what the people of Lut used to do. One hadith said the people of Lut alayhi salam never used to commit homosexuality until first they started to have relationship with their own wives in the backside. From that they went on to commit something worse. It's completely prohibited. And there's another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ, he said as well, he is cursed, 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 the one who has relationship with his wife in the backside. He's being cursed. You must know that it is prohibited in Islam to have relationship with animals. You think it was a no-brainer. It includes any form of sexual act beyond relationship between a husband and wife. Anything else prohibited, whether it is homosexuality, and obviously many other evidences as well, or lesbianism, or with animals, or with children, or with even Imam Shafi'i said from this verse, it's prohibited to have relationship with the own hand. The masturbation prohibited. He said, whoever sexual relationship with his mahram, okay, meaning close relative like his mother or his sister or his niece or somebody, or his aunt. So whoever had intercourse with his mahram, kill him. Mean, put him on trial and execute him. And whoever had intercourse with an animal, kill him and the animal. Okay, kill him and the animal. In Islam, the animal as well, prohibited after that to eat the animal as well. You're not allowed to eat them. You must know it's prohibited to have intercourse with any child. With any child is completely prohibited. No child will have relationship until they are mature. And when they are mature, meaning they reach the age of puberty, then at that time it must be through marriage and so on. It can never be while they are a child they have a relationship. It's completely prohibited. And Islam, childhood, it ends from the age of puberty. Al-balagha, he will be baligh from the age of maximum age of 15. From the age of 15, everybody will definitely be mature. Before 15, it could be some people mature earlier than others. For the women, from the first period, they are considered to be mature. And this is why women generally, they do mature, both mentally and physically, before men. And from that age of puberty, from that age of maturity, they can take their own control over their own affairs. They'll be responsible for their own affairs. And she can enter into contracts, including the marriage contracts. Before that age, they will never have a relationship with anybody. And if it occurred, according to some opinions, some madhahib, that a child can get married before the age of puberty by the permission of the father, they can still not have any relationship until she is mature. There will never be a relationship for anybody until they are mature, until they are reached the age of maturity. So for the girl, either from the first period, or if for whatever reason she's not having periods, could be an illness or anything else, from the age of 15 is the maximum age of childhood. After 15, you are mature, you're an adult. For the boy, it is either from the first wet dream they have, this would be a sign of their own maturity. Or as well, other signs include the thickness of the pubic hairs. When it becomes thick, then that will be considered the age of maturity, or the maximum age of 15. So again, if they're 15, they will be considered to be mature. Before this, they will never have a relationship with anybody. It has been permitted for you to go to your own wives, to have a relationship with your own wives, during the night time. Okay, during the night time. They are a garment for you, and you are a garment for them. Okay, meaning there are clothing for each other to, therefore, for them to wear each other, you could say. Until dawn time, you can have a relationship. But then, do not have a relationship with them until the night time. We complete the fasting after that, until the night time. But do not have a relationship when you are in the i'tikaf in the masjid. You must know that it is prohibited to have the intercourse during menstruation. Anything less than that is permissible. But the actual act is prohibited during this time. Until she is free from that and she has purified herself. It is prohibited in Islam to have permanent contraception. He permitted it in certain circumstances with the permission of the wife. But it's not allowed for them to do so without the permission of both parties, because both of them have right to have children from each other. It's their own right to have children from each other. So it's not allowed to say that they will only have a relationship if they, for example, use contraception. This is prohibited. So to forbid people from having children is completely prohibited in Islam. We don't discourage people, actually you don't want to have children. Actually, you know, it's not good. You lose your job. You can't, you'll be too busy. And in the Muslim countries even worse. They go there with their own NGOs and their organizations, and they will establish a principle. You should not have children, you're too poor. You're going to be a strain on your economy. You're going to be a drain on your own family. You cannot afford to have children. They'll tell them, don't have children. It's prohibited in Islam to tell people, don't have children. Prohibited to forbid people or to discourage them from having children. Rather, we've been ordered by Rasulullah to encourage each other and be encouraged by Rasulullah to have many children. To have many children as much as you can. Even if you cannot have enough children with one wife, get more wives and have more children. That's the reason why we have more wives, 4 wives. One man with 4 wives can have many children and make the Prophet ﷺ proud on the Day of Judgment of how big his ummah is. They say to you, why can't a woman have 4 husbands? It doesn't make sense. One woman with 4 husbands, they all have less children. There's not going to be more. And they're all going to fight over each other, who's in charge. And who's going to be the father of this child? They all say, no, it's my child. They say, no, it's my child. I'm her husband. No, I'm her husband. It doesn't make sense. But a man to have 4 wives makes sense. It can work because he can support 4 families. He can have big family. So this one, it can be done. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, marry those who are loving and they are fertile. They can have many children. If the woman marries a man, and because of him, she cannot have any children. If you went to any Sharia judge and said, I cannot have children with this man, I want to have nullification of the marriage, I want khula, any Sharia judge will grant it. Because that is her right, and is the main purpose of the marriage in the first place. To kill a child, let's not mince our words. To murder a child in the womb is completely prohibited. It's the same as murdering the child after they are born. The difference between the two is very small. The tiniest of difference. In Islam, we don't say you can kill whoever you like before they're born. In Islam, life starts before you are born. A fetus has rights in Islam before they are born. In the West, they consider your human rights, they don't exist when you are in the womb. You don't have any rights. They never even thought about these rights that Islam gives to the child. Islam gives the right of the child, they cannot be aborted. The child has blood money. If he's injured in the womb or is killed in the womb, there's blood money for the child in the womb. If the child is in the womb while their own relatives passed away, they have the right to inherit from them, even in the womb. Before they're even born, we will keep a share of the inheritance for them. Because Islam is considered to be, they're already your son, you're already your daughter. We keep 2 shares of inheritance. If it's a boy, they'll have 2 shares. If it's a girl, they'll have 1 share. Just in case. It is prohibited in Islam to imitate the opposite gender. Men do not pretend to be women, and women do not pretend to be men. Men do not dress up as women, women do not dress up as men. Men do not walk like women, and women do not walk like men. Men do not talk like women, and women do not talk like men. There's complete gender distinction in Islam. We distinguish between the two. We do not mix them. We do not imitate each other in our own gender. It's completely prohibited in Islam. The smallest action, like wearing the clothes of the opposite gender, even in your own home, in your own bedroom where nobody can see, is completely prohibited in Islam. Okay, so whatever is clothes meant specifically for women, men will never wear it. And whatever specifically for men, women will never wear it. Even there are certain clothes which in Islam there is only for women, like to wear the gold, to wear silk, to wear ma'asfar, the very brightly multicolored clothes. These are only for women. Men do not wear them. Okay, so these are examples like this. Okay, as well for the men to wear women's dresses or anything else like them, or for the women to wear men's clothes that are specific like men. For example, the trousers. There are different types. There are trousers for women and there are trousers for men. The trousers for women, it doesn't need a zipper. They do not make it with a zipper like this. It's usually different. So the woman not going to wear men's jeans or men's trousers. She will wear women's trousers. It will be different. If a man has long hair, he cannot make it like the woman's hair. Cannot dress it like a woman's hair. Okay? It must be plaited in a certain way or kept in a certain way. There's nothing like the women. It's something known. This is the man only. Not to be same at all. And the same thing with women. They cannot cut the hair like a man's hair. Umar al-Khattab, when he saw a man walking a little bit funny in the streets, he took his durra, his little stick he used to carry all the time, for just such an occasion. And he gave him a hit on his back. And he said, "Dave, a man when he walks straight. When he speaks, people hear him. And when he punches, you feel it. It hurts." So this is the way of the man. Not somebody, a man who's walking like this left and right, like he's wearing high heels. When he talks, he says, "Assalamu alaikum." Very quiet, like a shy virgin. And when he hits, he doesn't hit, he just pushes. Pushes like a little girl. Little slap. Not even like this. A man is masculine, he's strong. He speaks. When he speaks, people hear, there's a man around the corner. He's coming. When he walks, people see, "Oh, that's a man who's walking over there." Not to be any kind of confusion. Okay, so this is the way the man, he cannot be like this. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said, "What is wrong with this man? What is wrong with him?" And they said that he imitates the women. The Prophet ﷺ, he ordered for him to be exiled, to be thrown out of the city, not allowed inside, because of this. So someone like this as well walking around, he's going to corrupt everybody else as well. He's going to corrupt the people. They're going to put ideas in their mind that should never come to their mind. So he exiled him, threw him out of the whole city. You must know that it's prohibited in Islam to marry any mahram, any relative, close relative from the women. And I'll explain exactly who those mahram are. And obviously it goes without saying, marriage or no marriage, therefore it's prohibited as well to have relationship. The word nikah, it means both the marriage contract and it means as well intercourse. Both of these two are included in the word nikah. So nobody can say, "Oh, it's prohibited to get married, but it's halal to have relationship." No, both of them are prohibited from the same meaning, from the same word. Nikah al-maharim completely prohibited. And in Islam, the punishment for that is as well capital punishment. The daughters of your own brother, they are as well mahram. And the daughters of your own sister, they are as well mahram. And your mothers from breastfeeding. Okay, so any of those people who breastfed you when you were a baby, they are considered to be your mother as well. Mother of breastfeeding. They are as well prohibited for you, mahram for you. And as well, your sisters from rida'a, from breastfeeding. Okay, your sisters from breastfeeding. In other words, those mothers from breastfeeding, if they have daughters, they are as well your sisters. And they will never be allowed to marry you. And as well, the mothers of your own wives. Okay, so the mothers of your own wives will never be halal for you again. Okay, so your own mother-in-laws, okay, whichever, whether it's your wife now or your wife before or any one of your 4 wives, their mothers are prohibited for you. It's completely haram, it's mahram for you. In terms of marriage, this is in terms of marriage I'm talking about, marriage and intercourse. Okay, in terms of uncovering the awrah and free mixing, sometimes it's different. And the daughters of your own wives, meaning from another marriage. The daughters of your wives from another marriage, they are mahram of marriage. I mean, you can never marry them. It's just prohibited for you to marry them. Okay, the daughters of your wives who you have consummated the marriage with them. Okay, but if you have not consummated marriage, then there's no harm or no sin if you were to marry them. And also, the wives of your own sons. I mean, any of your daughters-in-law will be prohibited for you forever. Okay, they will also be mahram for you. And as well as be prohibited for you to combine between 2 sisters. So 2 women who are sisters to each other, you cannot marry both of them at the same time. But if you divorce one, you can marry the other. Or if one of them passes away, you can marry the other. Okay, they are not forever mahram, prohibited for you forever, but you cannot marry both of them at the same time. Okay, so while you're married to a sister, you are haram to marry her. Again, this is another example of a mahram which she's still not allowed to uncover in front of you. And also, obviously, we mentioned the hadith before, Ibn Abbas, he said that whoever has relationship with a mahram, kill him. The Muslim woman cannot marry any man except from the Muslims. She can never marry a non-Muslim. It's impossible. This is the honor of Islam, the honor of this ummah. We cannot accept to hand her over to a kafir to be an authority over her. The Muslim woman knows she is a queen. Nobody is good enough for her except for the best of the best. We're not going to give her to a Jew or to a Christian or to an atheist or a Buddhist or a Hindu. For a Muslim man to marry any woman who is not either a Muslim or from the people of the book is completely prohibited. For the man, he cannot marry mushrik women unless they were from the people of the book. So people of the book, obviously they're mushrik. Of course they are still mushrik. They say that Allah is the son, called Isa and so on. But those mushrikeen, Allah made exception for the women. Obviously for the women of them, if they are chaste, if they maintain those common rules in Islam that they have, not to commit zina, not to do all of those fawahish and so on, then it is allowed for the Muslim men to marry from those women of the people of the book. Why? Because number one, it will be da'wah for her. Because he will be an authority. If she does not become Muslim, at least you have many children from her which will be Muslim. Increase the ummah of Islam. And she will not be married to a Christian to have children from the Christians or the Jews. Meaning what? Meaning you have decreased the numbers on the kuffar as well. Those women who have been divorced, then they must wait a period of 3 months or 3 courses, 3 periods, okay, without marrying. And it's not allowed for them to conceal what Allah has created in their wombs. And it's important because usually the iddah, it is in order to, as well, to purify the womb. So the womb is clear from the previous marriage. That's why the 3 months we say is not one go. It will be 1 month, then the husband will either take her back or divorce her again. Okay? In that time when he takes her back, he could have a relationship again with her. Then she'll wait another month or another cycle. Okay, so we know after that she had a new period, she's become pure, there's nothing from the previous relationship. If she had 3 divorces, they cannot marry each other ever again unless she marries somebody else and they also divorce. The first 2 times he makes a divorce, they don't actually divorce. He will be divorced for 1 month and she will remain his wife in his home even as well. He'll continue to provide for her and everything else, but they're not allowed to touch each other for that month. Then he will take her back or divorce her again. After the 3rd divorce, haram for each other completely. The only way for them to have a relationship again after that or to marry again is if she marries elsewhere and they have divorced as well or widowed, and then he marries them again after that. If she was 9 months iddah, still she cannot get married until the 10 months can be cleared and the child is born, then she can get married, not before then. Because that was Surah 65 verse 4. If he should divorce his wife, he must do it. He is not allowed to refrain from divorcing just to harm his wife. Some people, they'll do that. They'll separate from them, leave them completely, but they'll not divorce them. Why? So that you can harm her. So she is stuck with you. Nor can she get married to somebody else and leave you, get somebody else to provide for her, nor are you going to do anything for her. That is completely prohibited. She can ask for khula, but that means needs to go to arbitration. The judge may take longer, may take time. And maybe needs to judge between them, try to reconcile. If he cannot, then he will give her fatwa to nullify the marriage.